Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and we're learning about updates in family law with attorney Cynthia Garnholz of the Garnholz Law Firm. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
So you're kind of giving us some updates and trends that are currently going on in family law, and one is collaborative practice. And I would love for you to explain what collaborative practice is.
And I would love to talk about it. I'm very excited about collaborative practice. So just to give you a little bit of history and description of what it was. This is one trend that started in the Midwest and went out to the coasts and is now really international. So collaborative practice is a method of alternative dispute resolution. So when I use that phrase, I really mean outside of court. So deciding your dispute, whatever it is, outside of the courtroom, which I think is always a good thing. So collaborative practice in the context of divorce and family law is really a client-focused and team approach to resolving the disputes. So if you came to me and wanted to divorce collaboratively, I would be your collaborative attorney. Your husband would have a trained collaborative attorney, trained in the process, and we would have access to a trained financial neutral, usually a CPA or someone trained in financial matters, and we would have mental health professionals, also called coaches, and we'd have a child, if you have children, we would have a child advocate present. The mental health coaches are therapists, and they are present in the process not to provide therapy in the traditional sense, but they are present to help each party get through the process and get the business of the divorce done without emotions completely blocking the path forward. The child advocate is there to bring the voice of the children into the process, which is extremely valuable. And then also, the child advocate is trained in developmental issues relating to children, and so can explain to the parties, here's where your children are now, here's what their needs are, here's what's coming next and next to next. And with that information, the team sitting around the table can come up with a parenting plan that will meet both the needs of the parties and, most importantly, the needs of the children.
How did it transition from what it was before to this collaborative practice? Was it just over the years seeing the benefits of having other parties involved?
I think that it was an outgrowth of mediation. So in mediation, the parties meet with a trained mediator. No one else typically is present in the room. So you don't have the support of your attorney in the room when you're in mediation. So I think people began to feel the lack of that. Well, I can run outside and talk to my lawyer and call him or her on the phone, but I'd really like him or her present in the room with me to help me get through the process and to think this through. And so it sort of grew from there, and I think it's just a wonderful thing. We have, it's been in St. Louis now for, I'm going to say, about 15 years, and we have a wonderful association here, the Collaborative Family Law Association of St. Louis, and we have about 30 trained professionals in all the different areas.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up, there is another trend that I want to talk about custody.
Yes.
And legal and physical custody,
Yes.
and if you want to give your input with that.
Yeah, so people tend to think there's just custody as if it's one thing, but really it is divided into two areas. One is physical custody. So that refers to who has the body of the kid at any given time. But the other is legal custody, and that refers to decision-making about the welfare and development of the children. So what religion will the child be? Does the child require mental health therapy? Will the child attend camp, and if so, where? So either of those can be sole, and that's the word used in our statute, sole to one parent, or joint or shared by both parents.
Okay.
And the trend, what I'm seeing here in the St. Louis area, both in the city and in St. Louis County, I would say over the past 5, 6 years is a trend toward shared physical and shared legal custody.
All right. Well, no, thank you for sharing that. And there's so much. If you go to the website, there's a lot of information. It really shows what the firm actually, all the practices, everything that it does, and all the different areas that are covered. So again, reach out, garnholzlaw.com, or call 314-725-5430. And I'm sorry, we just don't have more time to go over this because it's really interesting. I don't think people really know, just can keep up with what some of the trends are, and it's great to have that insight. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.